Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Branders Podcast. I'm your host, Arab, along with my co-host, Edwin. And today we have on a very special guest that doesn't need an introduction. Everybody knows who she is, dominating the ranks of Fortnite since the beginning. Mrs. Anne Fishy, mama of Benji. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's been a long time. We've talked about it for a long while, sort of thing. So it's fine. Nice to finally be on the podcast. Yeah.
I've been very excited for this podcast for a long time. You watch them, don't you?
I do. I've watched quite a lot of them. Yeah.
Which is crazy. Yeah. It's crazy to us.
It takes me about a week to watch one of them because they're so long.
Right.
But I sort of watch them in sort of like 15, 20 minute sort of sections,
right,
sort of thing. But yeah, they're really good. Yeah, I really enjoy them.
Thank you. So I know this has been your lifelong dream to be on here, and
absolutely, of course.
I want to start off by saying I love how in touch with the community you are.
Thank you. Thank you. I do. It has taken over my life pretty much recently. So, yeah.
Has it made your life more exciting? Or how, like,
I think it's nice to, as a parent, to be in touch with what's happening. So when things happen, or tweets are being made, I understand I sometimes understand what those tweets are about. You know, when they're trolling, I don't necessarily understand, but yeah.
You're getting there though. You see, you're getting there, like with the trolling and stuff. I remember, I think you tweeted the other day or something. It was a really funny joke.
Yeah.
You know who tweeted a really funny joke too? Is Hen's mom. Do you remember which one? It was like 3 days ago or something. She responded under Hen, and she basically told him he sucked, and everyone found it funny.
Yeah, no. I mean, I get on well with her. Yeah, I chat with quite a lot of the parents actually. So yeah, that's good.
That whole group of parents are so cool. They're so understanding. You know what I'm saying? They're so nice to the. It's crazy because a lot of the Fortnite community is kind of toxic, but I feel like that whole group of parents are a shining example of how you can be in the Fortnite community and just be positive, you know, and helpful. You know,
especially with like the cope thing that's now started up. So they do an amazing. You know, I know they've helped you guys.
Oh my God, they're so amazing.
Yeah. That's an understatement.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm a little bit more removed from it because a lot of them are in the US and the UK, and we're sort of EU. But so I act sort of as an advisor along with Johnny, who's Miss Savage's dad. Mm-hmm. But then, you know, we're hoping to expand it a little bit more and things as things go on. So no, it's been brilliant.
I see a bright future for that. The amount of connections that they have and the amount of parents that they have in there, it's crazy to see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the pro parents are involved. So I mean that's can only be positive, and trying to change the perception of people that gaming is, you know, that is more of an esports and that you can have a career in it, and there are lots more careers than just being a pro. You can do the content creation. There's the whole infrastructure around esports and things like that. So yeah.
What was your like initial reaction when Benji started playing before he was making money? You were like, was there?
So I always knew that Benji wanted to be a pro player, but didn't really understand too much about it. So I know he used to watch like League of Legends and things.
Right.
And before he signed with Energy, he was grinding for some of the other smaller orgs. So he was like with Clairvoyance and things, and these few like smaller orgs. So I was aware that he was trying to do that, but at the same time, I was very keen for him to have an education as well, to have a backup thing. So it was trying to balance that, which was really hard. And then it was in February 2019, he teamed up with Marty, Miss Savage, and then they went and won Montana Black, which was, I think he won $10,000.
Right.
And then very shortly after that, within a week, they announced the World Cup 2000, the World Cup. So then everything just went,
crazy. Yeah.
It went crazy. Yeah.
Did Benji's education ever take a hit because of his involvement in the scene?
So it did sort of, yes. So I was having to supplement his education with tutors because, he's bright. If he set himself, if he was just doing education full stop, then he could easily get sort of like A grades and things like that.
Yeah.
However, what was happening was that I would go to bed at, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, and I would leave him playing. He would say, right, I'm coming off in half an hour. I'm just finishing a game. I would then wake up at 3 a.m. only to find that he's still on the, playing. We would then have lots of arguments in the early hours of the morning. To the point where I would sometimes have to disconnect the internet and, that sort of thing, as parents do. But then he was trying to go to school on 3 hours sleep.
Yeah, it doesn't work. You sleep in class.
It just wouldn't work. So because I did a whole load of freelance work, and one of the companies I freelanced work for was Tutor Doctor, which is they come and do education, supply tutors to the house. So the main subjects like English, math, science, French, I got tutors coming in to supplement his education so that anything he missed because he was too tired in class, he could, catch up on a one-to-one basis.
You really do it all. Quite well. You do it all.
Sorry? Yeah. So that worked quite well until he got signed for Energy and the World Cup, and then
that went out the window.
Went out the window. I felt, and it was probably my decision to a certain extent, was that if he was going to compete at the level of the other pro players, they were playing like 8-10 hours a day practicing. I felt it was only fair to give him the opportunity to be able to do that.
That's crazy.
So I approached the school to see if we could do some sort of reduced hours, or he could take time off to practice for the World Cup. Unfortunately, that wasn't an option. So I made the difficult decision to actually take him out and homeschool him.
That's crazy.
By getting the same tutors coming in. So yeah.
That's crazy that you made those decisions and you were like, okay, fuck it, Benji, we're doing this.
I just felt that he needed to be on a level playing field. And if you know me, anyone who knows me, he was at a really, really, really good school. It was like an independent school in the UK. To get in there, super selective, sort of, he had to go all sorts of, interviews. He already had to do a whole load of exams to get in there and pass all these exams. So to actually pull him out of one of the top schools in the country, in the area, was actually a really, really hard decision. But I just felt that he needed to, as I say, be on that level playing field, and that education is something he can go back to. So, people take time out in between college and university or whatever. Why not take it earlier? So that was my premise for that.
Yeah, your ultimate. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I wonder how many pro players never got to be pro players because their parents weren't as understanding as you are. You know what I'm saying? Because really, like the variable in his life that led him to that level of success is you, like almost directly. Isn't that crazy? Like if it wasn't for you and like your understanding of what he was doing and stuff, if you were like a regular parent that kept cutting the internet off, like he would never be at that level. He
wouldn't have been able to have practiced or done the tournaments to the early hours of the morning because education would have taken. And it is sad. There's probably quite a few players out there that have got the potential to be really good, but haven't been given that opportunity.
Yeah, we know your ultimate plan was get him big so that you could become a streamer?
Absolutely. Yeah. I would never have thought of streaming at all. That is just insane, really. That is just insane.
Yeah, it blew my mind too, honestly. I remember when you first started streaming, because everyone was in my chat and they're like, Mama Benji has more viewers than you. And I was like, good. Like, and it was cool that you started playing competitive. Like, you're sitting in a bush, you're learning, you got your first kill. It's cool.
Yeah. I don't think I would have. I don't know whether I would have done competitive if it hadn't been for Benji. I might have played Fortnite, but just casually. But I'm actually quite invested in the whole competitive scene. So, like, Saturday, I'm actually thinking I'm going to do the Middle East Cash Cup, then the
No way.
That's crazy.
So crazy.
Oh my God. See if I can get some more PR points.
Dude, that's so funny, bro. I'll never forget the first time I like came to your stream. I was like, dude, there's no way she's streaming. So I was like watching your stream, and within the first 10 minutes of me watching your stream, you're hiding in a bush waiting like for placement, and somebody just randomly out of nowhere like obviously stream sniping just comes and rolls you, and I was like, what kind of loser has to do this to her? You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, I get it to like pro players and stuff, but that's just so cold-blooded. I was like, what's the point, you know? Yeah, and your reaction is so priceless. You're like, oh, he knew where I was, or something like that.
Yeah, I know. It's quite difficult from that. So streaming like the solo cash cups and things like that and whatever is quite hard. You know, I try and now put a screen up so that people don't know where I land necessarily, but people know my landing spots and they can check it. So,
You know.
Yeah.
But it's just for fun, you know. So
I've been there.
Dude, the other day I was streaming solos in the morning, and I was looking for different bunker chests, and she was giving me advice on which one to go. She was like, I wanted to go to one that was like on a little island. I was like, oh, it might be clever to go to here because like who goes here? And she's like, oh no, it's really contested. And I was like, it's funny that you know that and I don't.
By the John Wick house, yeah. Only because I've tried that myself. So go around. I mean, it was disappointing when we played with the FNCS with Motor and Bella. Benji told us to do the fishing strat, the cray strat, before it became known that that's what he was doing.
Right.
Yeah. So I'd already checked it out the week before, and we'd been practicing it. But because we were streaming it, we thought we can't do it on stream because people are just going to come contest us.
Right.
So, because if we were doing it off stream, we were going to do that strat, and probably would have qualified.
We probably would have, to be honest.
But because we were streaming, we felt we couldn't do that, so yeah, we sadly didn't qualify. But that would have been quite good fun. But that's the goal, is to try and qualify through one of the open rounds. That's what I'd like to do. Get good enough to be able to do that.
And that's gonna be a fun day when you do.
That would be good. That would be good. Yes.
Have you?
I'm trying to. It takes me so long. I like doing the mechanics and things. I'm trying to learn how to do turns on the builds at the moment and things. But you know, my reaction time is so much slower because I've never been into gaming or done anything like that before,
right.
So.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? Or I want to see if you're older than Tom.
58.
Oh, so you are the
59.
oldest Fortnite pro. Tommy lost it. Tommy lost the title.
Well, he's the oldest male, from the others. So 59 in October. So yeah.
Yeah, Tommy had the title beforehand at 52, I believe. So
yeah.
So that way I can put in the title. I'm gonna put oldest Fortnite professional.
Okay.
Benji has siblings, doesn't he?
So he's got one brother, Charles, who's 24. So it was his birthday the other day. But David was married before. So my husband, David, was older than me. He was 15 years older. And so he was married before. And so he's got 2 children. So he's got a half brother and sister, Becca and Saffron.
So I don't know if you'd ever talk about David. Is that a cool topic to dive into or no?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I don't have any.
I don't know if anybody knows like what happened like
So David ended up getting esophagus cancer. So he was quite young. He was only actually 57 when he passed away. So he got so that was 17 years ago this November. So time is a healer. Time is a healer.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that.
But yes, he got esophagus cancer, and it was very quick within a year. So it was quite sad. So Benji was only about 8 months old, and Charles was 7 at the time. So,
so Benji hasn't really had he didn't have to deal with that. He just grew up, and it was you. And y'all's connection is probably. I mean, you can tell that y'all's connection is so tight because you're out here, you're watching competitive, you're learning competitive, so that you can understand it better. And it's cool. It's so cool to see.
It is really cool. It is really cool.
And I think
it's cool that you're getting so involved in it more than like just like understanding it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not just like you understand it and watch it. It's like you're actually a part of it. Like that's so cool.
Yeah. In fact, I looked on my stats. I played more games than Benji this season. Double the amount of games. I looked at his stats, and it was about 550 games for season 6, and I think I'm at about 1,070 or something.
Right. So. I'm sure he loves the fact too that because I showed my dad. My dad one day sat me down and he goes, "How does this game work? Teach me. Like, what do you do so I can understand?" And I taught him a little on like, it's a battle royale. There's 100 people. And it was cool. And the fact that you know how competitive works and like zones. And
she said PR points. I was like, I barely know what that means. I'm not really into competitive. I just play the game casually. I stay away from competitive just because like I don't know. I've seen what it does to people. Like they just like burn out and like go crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's really cool to see how not only supportive you are of Benji and the entire community, but how involved you are now. Like, and it's cool seeing like more people that aren't just like little kids play games. Because I always think to myself, like, whenever I see like older people, I'm like, oh, they don't play video games. Like why not? But it's because they didn't really grow up with it. But like when I'm older, when I'm like, when I have kids and stuff, I don't think I'm gonna stop playing video games. Like at all. Like why?
I mean that's right. I mean the last game I ever played was 18 years ago. Whoa. And that was Banjo-Kazooie on the N64.
Banjo-Kazooie, wow.
Banjo-Kazooie. And then before that, the only other game was something called Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Infocom, but that was a text-based game. So it wasn't even Windows or graphics or anything. And they're the only 2 games that I've ever really played. And then my whole world has been revolved around business, and I used to run my own business and things. So
what was that?
So I used to run a training company, computer training company. So I started that, I know, ages ago now. Well, when Windows 3.1 was out, whenever that was around. So Windows 3.1 were perfect. So I used to have a full-time job and then doing sort of like accounts work. And then I started doing computer training in the evenings after work and at weekends. And then we grew that to the point where I could leave my full-time job and do that full-time. And then David, who was into sales, account management, he came into the business to take it to the corporate market. So we ran that for about 11 years before we sold it. And then we incorporated management training into it as well. So it was a reason, we had quite a lot of freelance trainers, sites in London and at different locations and things. So yeah, it was good.
Did you enjoy that more than getting stream sniped, or which one do you enjoy more?
They're completely different.
different struggles, right?
Different struggles, yes.
How do you deal with that, the stream sniping? Because I get stream sniped and I'm decent at fighting, and it sucks for me too. Like for
a lot of the stream snipers initially were helping me. Yeah. Initially, they were doing the opposite. They were trying, but yeah, I mean, in competitive, they don't. They just go for you, don't they? So
yeah, someone always ruins
but
it.
It's okay. It's just one of those things. It's to be expected.
That you can't. It's out of your control. So You know, how are you going to be upset at
it? If you didn't want, it's a toss up between do you stream it or
always worth streaming
do you?
it. Always worth.
I know that's what you said, sort of like always stream. So I try and put the delay on and things like that, but then you can't talk to chat really.
Right. And it sucks.
Yeah, that sucks. I've been scheduling my streams around when I think the stream snipers are asleep. That's why I've been getting up at 7 a.m. I play from 7 a.m. to about like 10 a.m. and that's like when they wake up. And as soon as I start getting stream snipe, I'm like, all right, I'm out, boys.
About 10 o'clock they came online, didn't they? And they started.
Yeah, yeah, like 10:30. I'm like, all right, looks like it's time to get off, man. I'll see you guys later.
So there's a stream sniping. Dude, I had a question and my brain just turned off. Oh my god, 1 second. I forgot the question. It was a really good question too. I have the question. So you watch, you know, our podcast, you're in Edwin's stream sometimes. We talk about more like, I guess, brand risk things, right? things that you wouldn't expect.
Go for it. Yeah.
Somebody of your caliber to watch. So like, how do you deal with Benji, knowing Benji is, you know, hanging out with friends that are cursing all the time and he's traveling the world and, you know, he's out of your control. How does a mother come to that comfortability with her son
doing that,
knowing like
it's I try and give him the space now, but within the confines. So for example, obviously he likes to go out and party, shall we say?
Right.
He likes to go out and party. So he'll want to stay in an Airbnb with his friends. So if we go like to Australia and play those sort of places, to Anaheim, you know, for TwitchCon and, you know, DreamHack and all those, what I tend to do is get a hotel room, like a double hotel room or something. So, but then he's got the opportunity to be able to go out and stay at the Airbnb for the odd night or go out and party, but he's always got somewhere to come back to some extent. So he's got the choice. But I'm normally up quite often. He's out to like 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. So like any mum, I'm up there sort of like,
you're awake till he comes back. Oh my god. Yeah. My mom tells me that all the time. Because when you're out, I don't sleep.
What he did with what I found when he was in America before, his phone died. So he went to like Tifu's party and things like that and whatever, and some of those.
You know, that's where I met him. You know, it's funny. I'm pretty sure I remember I had to save him out of an elevator because he got stuck in an elevator that you could only open if you had a key card. And he was texting me. He goes, "I'm stuck in the elevator. I had to go get him." But yeah. No,
he got into the 100 Thieves party as well.
Yeah.
So,
I think it seems like you guys have like a good relationship though, where like, you know, like even with my mom, like I have a pretty good relationship with my mom, but I don't think I'm nearly as cool as my mom as you guys are, if that makes sense. You know, like she's like not involved in what I do. She doesn't really understand what I do, like etc. But it seems like you guys have like a really like one-on-one like relationship, and that's really, really cool to see because I think it's kind of rare.
I'm happy for him to go out. What I was doing was, because like his phone would die or something, I would always make sure that there's someone that's maybe a little bit older, that I got their mobile phone number to be able to text and make sure they're okay, you know, sort of, so that because there was an instant, I think after the 100 Thieves party, where his phone had died and he was chucked out of the party, and he was there and couldn't get back. So, you know, I worry about that, because then he's in a country, you know, sort of, you know, etc.
By himself with no phone, like
exactly.
There's always somebody that cares enough about him, and that's with him. And he's a good kid. It's hard not to. You've done well. You've done very well with him.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
I always say it, like there's very few kids that are as respectable and respected as him in this community. When you're that good,
Yeah.
most of them end up, getting these crazy egos of like, this is me, look at me, I'm a hot shot. And it's never like that with Benji. He's always been a down to earth.
Yeah.
But
no.
on that mother's note, he's out at 2-3 a.m. and you're not sleeping. How do you come to the fact that, like, okay, he is partying, he's out with friends? Do you think like, oh, he could be, I don't know, it like
no, I'm okay with it. I mean,
yeah, okay,
I'm okay with it. I mean,
he's just growing up.
He's growing up. Yeah, I know. I've got to let him go. I mean, Charles is 7 years older than him, so I would he's been invited possibly to go out to somewhere next month or whatever. But I would probably send Charles rather than myself, so that Charles could do more of the chaperoning, or because he's more of that age group, so he can go and party, because he's not going to want me there. It's just so that he doesn't get into trouble. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so,
of course.
He's not really streetwise, I don't think, yet.
Right.
That makes sense. So.
He's been homeschooled. Yeah. As long does he tell you what he's doing when he's out? So is that like part of the trust factor? Is he still too young to? Because I can tell my mom when I'm out and I'm doing something.
I do hear about what he gets up to. Yes, I mean, funny enough, he was at a boot camp in London last week, 2 weeks ago, with like CRR and Mexi and Verox and a whole load of them. Put it this way, I had to go and clean the flat up. The ebbing If I instigated Hector's thing of $250 per piece of rubbish that is left, I'd probably be exceedingly rich at this present moment in time. So.
What, does he have a rule? He has a rule. It's $250.
Yes, but did you see the thing with so the only reason Nade Shot where Cease and Elevate
oh my god, yeah, I remember that picture.
So he was saying that then Hector had this rule that $250 per piece of rubbish.
That's a good rule.
That was left to not put in
yeah.
So maybe I should put that. Yeah, they did leave it in a bit of a mess, shall we just say. They obviously had a fun time, but that's fine.
How old is Benji? 16, 17?
17 now.
Wow,
I was about to ask that. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I started watching when he was like 14, which is crazy.
I think so.
Yeah, I think towards the last
probably.
Yeah, was it 15?
15, yeah.
It's crazy how fast they grow and how fast time goes. Like, we've been in this game for 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing.
We're seeing kids go from 14 to 18.
Yeah.
I know.
Which is wild.
It is crazy. Yeah.
I think time's really flown by when it comes to like Fortnite years, man. Because like if you told it doesn't feel like Fortnite's 4 years old, but it is, and it's getting older. Like on that topic, where do you have an opinion of like where you see it going in the future? Like, like Benji, he's still competing. You're competing now. What's your perspective of Fortnite as a game, as like the company itself? Like, do you see it succeeding, or do you see like it having some downfalls? Like, just like,
There's always going to be this balance between the casual players, isn't there, and the competitive side. So that there are a lot of casuals playing, and so therefore they have to try and get the balance right between both of them, really. It's good that they're trying to do a roadmap so that they working out that it's going, like this year it's going to be trios and whatever, sort of, the FNCS and things, whatever. But yeah, I think I think to a certain extent the pro players are reasonably happy or whatever, you know, when there are things that they're not so happy, they do tend to voice their opinions, and Epic have been listening to them and sort of like changing some of them. So as for where it goes in the future, I mean, I would like to see more of them competitive side sort of, you know, come out and things, but I don't know. It's difficult, really. It's a case of getting that balance between the two, because a lot of the money side, I presume, comes from the casual players, from the buying all the skins and the
mobile players too.
I think they took a huge hit on that actually when they couldn't get mobile on Apple anymore.
Oh, yeah.
That's like I'm pretty sure they lost, like, I don't want to make up a number, but it was like in the tens and 30s of millions or something.
I would think it's
like
in the hundreds.
Yeah.
And I would argue that that's why they lowered prize pools.
Yeah.
So that they can fund a lawsuit.
They're expanding into other things like Rocket League, haven't they? And
you're right. They did buy it. Yeah.
They bought a big shopping mall or something.
Did they?
Yeah, a little while ago.
Yeah, they're expanding for sure. They're doing well with their investments. But anyone would be upset when you lose hundreds of millions and now you're in court and against some of the best companies in the world.
I mean, the prize pools are not, obviously, they're still really, really good, but they're not as good as they were.
I think that it's like maybe not demotivating for like current pros just because they've been in the scene. Maybe they've won money like before, but like I think for new pros, like people that are just like finding the scene, like trying to compete and stuff, like the $600 like cash cups aren't very motivating because like you have to literally be the best kid on all day and then you win $600. You know, like it's.
I think
what were they before?
Oh my God, they were crazy. 10 grand.
Yeah. 5,000, 7,000 for cash cup. Yeah. And then season X was like you won for the trios was like 32,000 each.
Oh my God. So going from that to $600, dude, that's quite a hit.
Yeah. It's quite a hit, yeah. So, but I mean, from like Benji's perspective, it's about competing.
100%.
So it's about
100%.
It's not necessarily about the money. I mean, that is obviously good, but it's about that competing and being the best.
And season X was a season that you were probably like, oh my God, Benji is making. Wolf. That was when he was with Mongrel and Mitro, and they were winning every week.
I remember,
every week. I think they made like 270 grand that season off of. I remember looking at a chart.
168.
Was it 168? It was 170. Yeah. Okay, that's what it was. And I was like, what?
They missed out though on the title though. The Kiriachi's team and the Mechs, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Russians.
The Mechs.
Oh, Mechs, yeah. So that was disappointing. Mm-hmm. I have to steer well clear of Benji when he doesn't do as well as he wants to.
Right. Do you cook for him and stuff?
I do. Yeah. Yes. I'm not particularly very good cook, but yes, we do cook. Very bad cook. Charles is the cook in the house, so.
Right. Oh, he lives with you guys.
Not anymore. No. But he is a really good cook. He literally cooks everything from scratch.
Does Charles live nearby?
No. Well, he's in London, so not far. He's in Hendon. Okay. So he was at he's just finished uni. So he did jazz guitar. Okay. So he's a musician.
Nice.
And the idea is that, I mean, at the moment, gigging and everything's not possible because of COVID and everything's been locked down, but hopefully that will ease up. And he's looking to possibly do his masters next year or whatever. So yeah.
How did you? Is Benji a common name in the UK or is it Benjamin?
It's Benjamin.
I always wanted to know how he got the name Benji. Oh, his name is Benjamin. No, his name's Benji, right?
His name is Benjamin.
Oh, it is Benjamin. Okay. Well, I never knew that. I thought it was Benji.
No, Benjamin.
I thought his actual first name was Benji. Because like I've never actually heard anyone call him Benjamin.
No, the only people that call him Benjamin is my dad, my parents actually. So yeah, I'll be saying Benji and they always say Benjamin. No, it was yeah, we were just thinking. So his name is Benjamin David Fish, yes, but he's always, ever since he was being born, been called Benji. So yeah.
Unrelated to that, how did you feel when his little meme of his double thumbs up blew up? Like, because that was all over the place during World Cup.
We didn't realize how big it was at the time. We didn't really appreciate that, but yeah, no, that was quite incredible. That was quite amazing. Yeah, no, that was brilliant.
Did you ever get phone
how old
calls?
was he? He was 15.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he was. He was probably just 16 actually, because it was in the July and his birthday's the April, so he would have been 16. I think would have been. Yeah, I think probably would have been 16. I don't know.
Oh, so he's turning 18
15.
in a month.
No, 15 then, yeah.
Okay,
no, he must have been 15. He's 18 in a year's time.
Okay,
so.
okay, yeah. 15.
Okay.
Would you get phone calls or like messages from friends saying they've seen your son's meme or no? Was that?
No, not really. I mean, I got messages saying that we'd been on the TV, like the BBC News, and we did some interviews and things, or we'd been in the newspapers, but that was only at the time when the World Cup was taking part. But
right
afterwards, no, not really. No.
That was such a cool event, man. That was so cool.
No.
Did you actually go to that? Were you there?
Yes. Yeah. No. And we got to because they were under 18. We got to go in, to the actual player lounge and things. So that was quite cool. So really cool. I met Tifu there. I managed to get a picture with Tifu. Sort of, I was but yes, all the like Ninja were there and all the players and the parents and everything, and then they gave us seats, specific seats to sit in and things. No, that was really cool. So
that had to be one of the coolest events ever.
Yeah, no, that was amazing.
You bring up Tifu. It's interesting because he is obviously like a real gaming success as well. Was in Fortnite too, and the commonality between him and Benji is that they were both homeschooled. For I don't. Benji probably wasn't homeschooled for most of his life, but Turner was homeschooled for his entire life.
Really, I didn't realize that actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Him and his brother. Well, actually, his entire family. Him, his brother, his sister, and his other brother have all been homeschooled.
Oh wow. No, I hadn't realised that. No. He's quite an interesting character. No, I really like him actually. I was quite scared to actually go up and ask for his photo, but it was okay.
I think at the end of the day, especially now that you're this big and like you specifically are this famous, not even just Benji, you realize they were just people.
I know.
Right. Yeah. At the end of the day, they were just people. It just depends what mood they're in.
Yeah. I mean, it's that's what David would always say, because I was never had a big issue about talking to people when I was younger and things. I didn't have the confidence that Benji has got. I couldn't have done what Benji's doing at that sort of young age.
Right.
It took a lot longer. And even now doing the streaming, it was that whole confidence things. I was a nervous wreck when I first started streaming. Literally couldn't do anything for like the whole day at the thought of streaming. But now I don't mind doing it. So
it's crazy, how it changes your confidence. You have to.
Yeah. You have to.
Yeah.
And I think there's two types of streamers. There's the ones that either get that confidence to stream, or they get so big on the fact that on a fake confidence, and they're really insecure, and it's like there's no in between. Normally it's either you're really confident or you're fake confident and insecure, because there's so many big streamers that are, I mean, you're making yourself vulnerable to thousands of people, hundreds of people every day, and it's like so many of them are putting on a mask and they have to be confident when really off camera they're not.
No, absolutely, sort of thing. I did years ago. Have you guys ever heard of Tony Robbins?
The speaker, right?
Yeah, so like motivator and the thing. So I did quite a lot of his courses. So I've done something called UPW, which is Unleash the Power Within. So I've done that actually 4 times, and I've done Life Mastery. And so therefore you do like a fire walk and things like that, and whatever, like 10-foot fire walk.
What's that mean?
walk across hot coals.
Really? You did that?
Yeah, I've done it.
Oh my gosh.
Four times.
4 times. Yeah.
You like pain. That's crazy. No,
You don't. It's all you don't feel the pain.
Really?
You do not feel the pain. No, you don't. No.
By the fourth time she was dancing across it, dude.
Yeah.
She was
She's like, you don't feel the pain because by the fourth time my feet are burned off.
No, literally it is. So they have it well set out that they have someone there that before you go across the coal, and they won't let you go unless you're in state, sort of like you're psyched up to go across there, etc. So
yeah.
No, it was an amazing experience.
Did you have to like fly somewhere to do that?
So I've done one in the UK, one in Belgium, a couple in America. So Hawaii was life mastery, which was 10 days. So that was actually at the time when 9/11 was on. 9/11 happened.
Right.
Do you think that those courses actually helped you? Like, did you see like significant changes in your character?
Absolutely. They were really, really good because I lacked a lot of confidence, sort of like image as well, sort of had a big hang up about that and things. So, and like when David passed away, I did another course there and sort of just help getting things straight, etc. And sort of like getting that, dealing with sort of like issues that,
Yeah.
Tony Robbins is I've watched a lot of his stuff before. I think I went through a period where I was just like, oh, this guy's cool. Like, let's see what he does. It's a lot of people.
You do things out of your comfort zone
Exactly.
that you don't normally do.
People don't realize the importance of doing things out of your comfort zone just to build a confidence.
Yeah,
it affects everything in the long run.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'm still a big. I still watch and listen to some of his podcasts and just reframing things. And actually, from a that whole mental attitude and helping even Benji and the guys in the pro scene, it's all about like reframing things.
Right.
Perspectives.
Looking at things from a slightly different side or whatever, and not getting so hung up about things.
Yeah.
How does it feel? How does it feel going from being the content consumer to the content creator? Was there like a shift there, and you're like, oh, this is much different than I thought when you started streaming? How was that first like?
I don't know. I didn't really. It sort of came quite naturally, really. At the end of the day, I didn't really give it too much thought, to be honest. I don't know.
Right. Do you have like a not so much a roadmap, but an idea of like where you're headed with this? Like, you're just gonna keep playing competitive? Like, you're gonna keep streaming? Like, is there like a goal? Is there like an end? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I mean, because it's only happened in the last couple of months, hasn't it? And I never planned it. It just, I started playing it. The initial thought was season 5. Halfway through the season, I set myself a goal. I wanted to get to champs, so that was my goal, to try and do that. And then the only reason I started streaming and went back to Fortnite, because I stopped it for a while, was do you know Benji did PogChamps 3, the chess tournament?
Yeah.
He
killed it, didn't he?
Yeah, he's like really good at chess, right?
He's now got quite good. Yeah.
What's up with
he's
that?
grinding it.
Is that because of you?
No, he just decided to do it himself.
Really?
No, that was just literally Christmas time. He watched The Queen's Gambit. So he did it.
Great show.
He did it as a child, but just learning the very basics and things, but nothing much. And so then he watched Queen's Gambit. He got a lesson from the boat. Is it the Botes? One of the Botes sisters or whatever. And then, as a result of that, he got invited to PogChamps 3. And so then he got Jon Ludvig Hammer to train him, coach him every night. So he was having lessons for a month. So he's a grandmaster.
Right.
But he's also a Fortnite player as well.
Oh,
so
wait, Benji's the grandmaster, or you're saying the other guy is?
Yeah, Hammer's the grandmaster.
Okay.
Yeah. So he coached him for PogChamps 3. But because he also plays Fortnite, what he would do is after he's done the coaching, he would stay on stream and play Fortnite and obviously streaming it. Now, I've only ever seen or mainly watched pro players, which are insanely good. You know, you watch any of them, they're just insane.
Right.
So it's quite refreshing to see someone playing Fortnite that wasn't quite so good.
Yeah,
yeah. It wasn't at that pro level.
Yeah.
And so that was what inspired me to then go back to start playing Fortnite again and then also streaming it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have started doing that. But longer term, I'm open to ideas as to, you know, whether that is maybe signing as a content creator or
I was about to say that. I hope that happens.
Energy
I hope he
and
gets signed.
Fishy.
Yeah. No, I hope he gets signed by a T1 org. That's so cool. That'd be so cool.
I don't know. I mean, it depends what the offer is, or I mean, you've got to be open to opportunities, haven't you? So
right.
Yeah.
And it would be
so cool, dude.
it would be cool, you know, Benji and Anne on the same team. Mother, that would be the first. That'd be the first mother and son duo in esports. I mean, all I'm saying is this clip might end up in Andy Miller's mentions, and listen, I don't want to take credit for it, but last time we had Benji and Savage on the podcast, the first time, we told them they need to duo again together, and they're being idiots by not. And guess what? A week later.
Yeah, I know.
So all I'm saying is Grady Rains, if you're listening to this.
No, I am doing something with Energy this evening, doing a YouTube video with Benji and Grady. So we'll see.
Grady's cool, great guy.
He is. He is amazing. Yeah, he's very funny.
When you do you travel by yourself at all to places like for specific business things, or not anymore? No. Like when you went to Hawaii. What, like?
No, the only time I've traveled not with Benji recently was to Tokyo, because Benji had been invited by Crazy Raccoons to go out and do a tournament in Tokyo, along with Cease, and everything was all booked, all planned. Charles and Amina were coming. Charles and his girlfriend Amina were coming as well, so we were doing it as like a family trip as well. But Winter Royale got announced and it clashed.
Right.
So Benji and Mongrel decided to stay behind, do Winter Royale, and the tournament got postponed. And then because of COVID, it hasn't been rescheduled. But I couldn't get the flights,
Cancelled.
So
yeah,
there was no point just wasting a trip to Tokyo. So I went to Tokyo. So it's amazing.
So what do you do with Benji when you're out traveling? Like he just stays by himself?
He was by himself. Yeah, I had to. So we live on an island, as you know. Right. So it's quite a close-knit community. So I had people popping in to check he was okay every day. He would get Uber foods, or they would bring food in or something. So yeah. He survived.
Yeah, good. That's cool. Staying home alone at 17 for that long.
Well, it was only a week, so it wasn't like massive.
I mean, you know, you hear a noise, you have a knife next to you just in case.
No, I mean here it's quite chilled.
Yeah. No one's there's no crime there, huh? Like, or very little.
There is, but it's not quite the same as being in a built-up city or something like
that. They have better gun laws there, man. if there's any crimes, it's knife-based at least.
Yeah. So.
So going on back on the topic of like I asked you where you see yourself going with this. Where do you see Benji going with this too? Like, have you had a conversation with him where it was like, you know, is this what you want to continue to pursue forever? Does he have any other aspirations outside of this?
I think Benji is still very much competitive, all right, but he's also doing a certain amount of content creation. So I mean, I've said to other people, I think it's more of a sort of like 80-20 split at the moment. So 80% competitive, 20% more creative. Whether he'll go into other games, so like for example, he did Rocket League, and he's quite good at that. Has played Valorant before, or you know, some of those other games. So whether he'll go into another game once, you know, Fortnite, or he doesn't feel that he's as competitive as he wants to be in Fortnite, or whether he'll go into more content creation, I'm not totally sure. But he will stay within the Fortnite community or within esports, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Even whether he, you know, he at one point he said he'd like to start his own org or something like that, but whether he would do that or maybe work for an org or coaching but at the moment it is all just competitive is the focus. So I think certainly for the next couple of years that would probably be the case.
I see him potentially being like one of the next Nade Shot kind of thing. There's potential there.
Yeah, I mean it is fair. I work you know, it's nice to see him, you know, with Savage and some of the, you know, the pros. I work closely with Johnny. I talk to him most days because we're writing these books, etc. So
right, you are writing a book. We talked about that in messages, but you never mentioned that. Talk about that.
Benji, I've written a journey book about Benji. So that takes him from, you know, from his early years right the way through to December 2020. So that is written. That's just going like being proofread and sort of changing it. So it's more or less ready to launch. We're just trying to work out the distribution side.
Right.
Need to get a photo shoot done for Benji for the front cover and things. So I was hoping to have that out about July time, but it's probably going to slip to maybe about August time or something.
And what's it going to be called?
Let's Go.
Okay. Good name. And Epic Games wouldn't give you the right to use pictures or stuff from like World Cup, right?
No, they're all our pictures. We've had to change everything that could possibly conflict with any copyright issues, etc. So we did approach them, but they never, and past an initial email, they just didn't respond really. So we decided I took out all the photos that could be of issues. And then the second book, which is almost finished as well, is a guide to esports, and that's being co-authored with Johnny.
And that's a parent's guide to esports, or
exactly, parents and aspiring pro players. So it explains everything about organizations, balancing education, mental attitude, the equipment setups that both Benji and Martin have got, revenue streams.
I love that. I love that.
Wow.
I love that.
We've also like career options. So we've got interviews that we've done with, you know, that like we've got some like 100 Thieves, Andy Miller's going in there, sort of some of the guys from Energy, Aussie Antics, you know, Baller. They've been interviewed, etc. to give ideas and sort of, you know, show different options that players can go into, etc.
Right.
So we're hoping to have that out by the end of the year for like the Christmas, like October, November time, that sort of thing. But it's 200 pages long. It's 200
that's going to be a good book because there isn't anybody that, especially you two, you and your children have reached a level of success that's almost unmatched in esports. And there's nobody that's written a book on that. Like the closest we got was that shitty company that tried to make a certification a week ago. You remember that company?
I saw that. Yeah.
I tried buying that test They ended up refunding me because like the company went down.
Yeah. I saw the messages.
I tried buying it for
That's-
content.
That's
Yeah.
pretty short lived. It already died. That's
It was
crazy.
only like 24 hours, wasn't it? Or 48 hours.
Yeah. Well, the problem is, they tried to come up with this certification for esports and blah blah blah. And reality is, esports is all about, at least now, it's all about networking. It's not corporate, and that's the beauty of it. It's how can you, on your own skill, climb your way to the top unmaliciously. I prefer, but obviously there are people that do it maliciously. But
because I prefer.
but there are people that, did you see their questions? Did you see the questions that they had for the esports certification? It was like something you'd see on a standardized test. Like if Sally has 17 gallons and Jim has 14 gallons, who wins the Valorant game? And it was like, what? Like they were like, it was that bad. Like they were that bad.
No. So I mean, in the UK, there's the British Esports Association. They've teamed up with something with Pearson, who have done something called a BTEC, which is like for 14 to 16-year-olds or 16 to 18-year-olds. They've got different levels.
I think Pearson does tests for us too in the US.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. So that it is available internationally. So they've actually created an esports college course, which is done in college to cover all aspects of esports, but also the production side and lots of the other things. But it looks a really, really good course, and probably something that I would have considered to have put Benji on. But it is, as you say, it's about networking. It's about surrounding yourself with like-minded people. They're also doing tournaments and things like that as well. So it's there aren't that many countries, UK and US. There aren't that many countries in Europe that are doing similar courses at the moment or around the world. So
I think my problem with courses, and don't get me wrong, it could be a great course, and I'm talking without knowing what it is, but it takes away the entertainment of esports. Where now you're sitting down and you have to take like a school test, or if that's how the course is, you're getting certified by Pearson.
Well, no, it's giving you like the transferable. So instead of it's giving you transferable skills that you can then go on and do other careers within it, not necessarily also within esports, but other fields connected within esports and things. So,
it almost sounds like a business, like an extension of like a business school. You know what I'm saying?
Is.
Right.
It is a little bit business, production. So being able to put on a production of, and they've got some amazing facilities. Some of these.
But guess what? I have a friend who's writing a book about the business side of esports and revenue streams, etc. That you wouldn't even have to get a course for. It's what's the book's name?
I don't know.
You haven't come up with a name. You guys haven't thought of a name yet. No. I'm excited for that book. I actually probably am gonna buy that because I want to see what you guys talk about. Obviously I'm in esports. I see the revenue streams, the potentials, but I wonder like what more there is too, because I don't do sponsorships. I don't do, I'm not on an org. I'm not getting paid like that. Things like that, looking at those revenue streams, the networking that the parents have done, the networking the kids have done.
The idea behind it initially was to try and, because I get approached along with a lot of the other members from Cope and things like that, and Johnny, by a lot of the children that their parents don't understand about esports. So it's really so that they've got something that they can show them.
Right.
To explain a little bit about.
So you're monetizing children's griefing. No, I'm just playing.
I think that it's really cool that esports up until this point didn't really have an infrastructure of it was kind of like the Wild West. There wasn't really like you do this, don't do that. and now there's like full on college courses about it. It seems like there's like help books, there's like more resources for, you know, kids to talk to their parents. Because I have a nephew he's 15 now. I gave him a gaming laptop, like a really nice one, an MSI one, and he was like 13. And his dad doesn't understand that. He thinks all he does on it is play video games and do useless things on the internet. But I think that using a computer to know how to troubleshoot video games, how to search the internet efficiently, this and that, that's kind of like the future of the way information will flow. And he doesn't get that. So, you know, now it's been 2 years. He's barely let his son, my nephew, use the laptop that I gave him. And his dad is now asking me for computer advice and computer help. I'm like, why aren't you asking your son? Like, you could have just asked him if you would have let him learn, you know, for the last 2 years. So he just doesn't get it.
That's right. I think, as you said, the next generation, so, you know, of kids. So like when Benjy's or like Charles, for example, you know, when they have their children, they're automatically going to be in that whole gaming
100%,
thing.
right.
So therefore, you know, you've got a time scale at the moment where, you know, when I first told my parents about Benji doing gaming, they actually thought it was gambling. They didn't get that it was a sport and things and whatever. They actually thought I was, you know, he was gambling. And when I tried to even open up a bank account for Benji, the banks in the UK wouldn't let me do it, because they thought it was gambling.
Drug dealing or gambling.
And I had to explain to them, okay, so what would you do if your kid was, you know, in the UK, we've got women, you know, tennis, won a big tennis tournament and they got prize money. Where would you put that bank? Why couldn't you put that into a bank account? And only then they agreed to open up the account.
The way my dad puts it is because my dad used to be against the idea of this. You know, he didn't understand it, and it got to a point where he was like, "Oh my God, like this is huge. Let me sit down and teach me. Like you teach me." And I sat there with him and I started teaching him, and he goes, "It's crazy." Like when he tells his friends, and they're like, "What? Your son does this?" And my dad really likes it now. He's proud of it. He'll go, "Listen, I know, because when I moved here from Lebanon, if I went back and I told my parents, you know, if they asked, what are you doing? You an engineer? Are you a lawyer?" And I said, I play with a ball, like a sports player, they would have laughed at me, you know. And for me to go even worse than that, to go, I play on a computer, and you know, there's nothing tangible there in front of your eyes other than a screen. Like, how are you making money off that? So that's how he tends to explain it. It's like people would laugh at you back in the day for playing sports, and then like rather than being an engineer or whatever, like the older generation doesn't get it, and then now it's like you're making money from your home doing nothing. So
I think with lockdown and things like that, more of the older generation has started to understand it a little bit more, because obviously they've been stuck at home, they've been using Zoom calls, or you know, they're going online, they're, you know, house party, you know, having a party across the internet and things. So I think they're getting it a little bit more from that they're sort of understanding it a bit more,
right?
But it will take time.
COVID was big for all of us, I'd say. Me especially. Mine's all blew up over COVID. So I guess
everyone was going online to watch, you know, Twitch and things.
I think Twitch hours like doubled or tripled, didn't they? I'm pretty sure Twitch numbers doubled or tripled during COVID.
I mean, it was a bit crazy, yeah. And I think Epic put on daily tournaments and things. Yeah, at that time and
they did. So
that was,
smart move.
I'm not quite sure what they're going to do for the month when nothing happens. Hopefully they'll after FNCS, before a bit of
free month of June. Take a little vacation.
Isn't that just off season?
Take a little vacation for sure. That's the time. Is Charles? He's not into esports, right?
He started streaming. He does stream.
Really?
A little bit. Yeah, he's got a channel.
Go ahead, say it.
It's something got a Fishy McFish face. Fishy McFish face, something like that. Yeah, after, yeah, I'm sure that is. But he hasn't streamed for a little while. But he does. He likes World of Warcraft,
Okay.
Tarkov, some Rust.
What does he do? Does he work right now or he's not?
No, because he's doing his guitar, his jazz, and obviously
he's looking for
gigging
gigs
and everything isn't really that you can't. It's all
doing
closed
YouTube
down,
videos of that is a good way to supplement that.
He's trying to get more into. He might try and do some teaching with that, whatever. But yes, I mean he'd like to do his masters possibly. But the problem is with practicing, it's difficult to practice music across the internet because of the lag and different things. So you really need to be in person. So everything is only just starting to open up a little bit more in the UK. So.
He should stream it. He should just stream
it. Yeah,
streaming it is the wave.
Yeah,
he hasn't done face cam yet. So
really?
No, he hasn't done a face cam.
Oh, you got to break him into that. Did you start with face cam or no?
No, I didn't. I did after only a few days actually. I then did, or a week or something.
Why'd you bring a face cam in?
Because people prefer to watch someone actually playing.
Yeah. It's more personable. You get to know the person.
But you didn't do it at first. What made you do it after? Wow.
I didn't have the confidence to even stream. Yeah. So the first day I streamed, I didn't put any notifications out. I thought I'll do a test stream. I went online and there was already like 2 or 3 people came into the stream and I immediately switched it off.
Really?
I immediately switched it off, yeah.
Oh my God.
And then I did.
There's 3 people in here.
I know it was, and then I did and I got confident enough to do a test one again for about half an hour, and again didn't put any notifications out, but I got about 30 people in the stream or something, and I coped with that. I did 1 or 2 games of Fortnite and then came off after about 40 minutes, and then the following day I thought, okay, well we'll just stream it, and that's when I got but I hadn't organized my mods.
Yeah. So chat was crazy.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden I had 13,000 13,000 people.
What blew it up? Who did you tweet it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And because I didn't have the mods, I then got all the
sorry for your eyes. Yeah, sorry for your eyes.
So I then had to cut that short, organize the mods, and then went back live again, and then
just creating an army out here. Yeah.
It was quite stressful to start with.
Combating phallic symbols in the chat.
Yeah. Actually, now it's not too bad. I've got Stream Deck set up. So I could put it to emote only, I think, or whatever.
If
for some reason there was a problem and there wasn't any mods, I guess I could just do that.
But you gotta admit, they're pretty good. Those copy paste that they put, they do well. They're art.
They are very good. Yeah.
I respect art. So even though I'm okay, come on, you're ruining chat. I'm wow. You did this with computer letters, Yeah,
that took some time.
And I don't know if we have any more questions. Obviously, we have a question we asked at the end of the podcast that I'm not going to ask you. I can't bring that up to ask you. So, you've watched the end?
Of course, I've watched the end.
Okay. Well, then if you want to hear the question, I'm fine with that. I just didn't want to be disrespectful.
I did wonder whether you would ask me actually.
Well, I you said you listened, so I assume you've heard them before, but I figured if I bring it up, then
I find the answers quite interesting.
That means you've had time to think about yours, which is funny.
That means she's prepared and she already knows the answer. So obviously, the gig one day surgeries are gonna get really good. One day surgery are gonna get.
I feel comfortable.
No, I got this. One day surgery are gonna get so good. you're not gonna be able to tell the difference between someone who's born a man, is now a woman, etc. So who are your top picks? If anyone doesn't know the question, you can go to the end of another podcast and hear the full story. But who are your top picks? So for a male,
well, I obviously I've had time to think about it, but I still don't really know. I was when I was growing up, I was a big Osmond. Do you know the Osmonds?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Like the
in
Osmond family.
70s, there was Osmond Mania.
Okay.
So I was a big Donny Osmond fan.
Massive
Donny Osmond fan. So I'd probably pick him as my male still. I still probably about 20 years ago, I queued for 6 hours to get an autograph from him.
Really?
I did, yeah. Because I never got to see him when I was younger.
Right.
When I was like 17, 18.
Right.
It was, like the Beatles where they get mobbed.
Yeah.
That was what like Osmond Mania was like.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All these kids screaming, sort of literally. So Donny Osmond, I think. Or Robert Pattinson, one of
Robert Pattinson, that's a good one too.
I was a Twilight fan.
Whoa.
So
Yeah.
And then
female.
What about a woman?
Actually, I'd probably go. Tommy chose, didn't he, Nicole Kidman? So I'd probably go for Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman.
Oh, he did choose that. That's in my search history, dude. She listens to all of them through the end.
Yeah, those are some classy choices too. I gotta say.
That's like the old people. So
okay, so you know the drill. You know the drill.
Yeah.
Who are you? I don't want to say the question because I feel out of place asking you the specific details. You're going for Nicole. Good choice.
Hey,
good choice.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm very glad that we got to ask for the question.
Same.
I think it also opens up a cooler side that, just because
there's a lot that you don't know about me.
Yeah. That you're the parent in the scene, even though you're watching these podcasts, you're watching Edwin stream, and we all say some wild shit. So it's cool.
It's fun. I enjoy the stream. I mean, your evening one with the cops and things, whatever, I tune in occasionally, but it's not really. I prefer the Fortnite one, shall I say?
Yeah, fair. I was like, when she told me she watched like the night ones, I was like, oh my god, I am so sorry.
He told me, he comes up to me the other day, he goes, dude, you know who hangs out on my stream all the time? I was like, who? He goes, Anne Fishy. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, I feel bad because I don't know if I can say something sometimes. I'll search the viewer list and make sure she's not in there.
Yeah.
He goes, I'll search the viewer list and make sure she's not in there. I was like, bro, she doesn't care. If she's watching your stream, she doesn't care. Like,
no. Yeah, it's all good. No, I'm pretty simple. So, yeah.
Let me end this stream by saying you are cool as hell. You are so cool.
Thank you.
I agree with that. And
thank you.
I'm very happy that we got to ask the question, even though I didn't.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't.
Dude, 10 minutes ago, in my head while we're doing this, like while we're doing the podcast, I was like, there's no way we're asking this. I was like, I wonder how we're gonna end this, knowing that we're not gonna ask that question, because there's like certain people we don't ask it to, and you were definitely on that list of people we weren't going to. Like we had a dude we did last night. We had a podcast we did last night. And this dude's a rapper and this and that, and he wouldn't answer the question. So it's hilarious to me that you answered it and he won't. That's so funny.
Anne, what are your plans for the next few weeks? You mentioned the book. Guys, keep a lookout for that in July, August. Go ahead.
Yeah, probably the issue is more the distribution side. So because we can't do it print on demand because they're full color books, they've got to be printed and then shipped internationally.
Oh, so you have to do the math of how much you think you're gonna sell.
Yeah, so we'll do a pre-sale, but then you've got to allow so many weeks to get to America and customs, and then Europe with Brexit and everything, and the whole thing's very complicated.
Customs are a bitch. I had my merch spent like weeks, months on customs sometimes.
Yeah,
because it was coming from Australia.
That's a bit of a issue. So hopefully about August time for the journey book, for Benji's book, and probably October, November for the for the parent guiding book.
Right.
And then probably I'm doing like trying to do daily streams at the moment, and just do the competitive side. So
if you're not playing, so like today for the Reverse Cup, are you going to be watching that? Like, are you going to do a watch party of that, or do you not do watch parties?
I did my first watch party the other week, just watching Cray and Benji.
Okay.
So not a full on, because I'm not sure whether I saw something on the internet that indicated that you've got to get permission to watch other people's Twitch streams.
Not in Fortnite, people aren't like that. It's a very everyone watches everyone whenever, you know. That's more of the like, okay, if you're a streamer and you're literally just sitting on someone else's stream. But in Fortnite, everyone is normally cool with it, unless they specifically have in their title no watch party, which people very rarely do. It's like one or two people, and they'll do it on only like grand final tournaments.
Right. So I was doing it from doing the VOD reviews on the...
Right.
So I was watching like Benji live, and then when he died, I went to Cray and did it via the VOD review and things.
Yeah. It would be interesting to watch you do. I feel like I would enjoy that watch, because there's only a few watch parties, right? And some of them are too high energy. Yeah. Some of them talk too much. I feel like yours would be a very relaxed, like and more of a casual player getting into competitive perspective.
Yeah.
Because you know, if you're watching EU Heats next week, and you have these 8 to 10 streams pulled up, and all you got to do is mute and full screen one, or that would be cool to watch. I think that would be a niche.
So I do that, but tonight I'm doing bragging rights, so it clashes a little bit with same time.
Right.
But Benji's doing the console cup. Yeah, he's doing the console cup. So I'm doing bragging rights as practice for the trios on Monday.
Is Benji streaming it?
No, I don't think so. And he's got a problem. He's had to contact Epic. There's something he
to
can't
link his account. Yeah. Okay, so you got that. You got the book coming around July, August. 2 books. Are they both coming out then?
Yeah.
At the same time?
No, the second one probably October, November time.
Okay. I'm excited for that second one, especially.
Yeah.
Benji, I'm not really a fan of, so it's whatever. Everybody listening to the podcast, you made it to the end. And whether you're still confused about the question or not, you can watch a different podcast to better understand it. Otherwise, make sure to check out Anne at all her links. They're in the description. You can keep up there for when she is going to release the book around that summertime, a little bit later. She'll tweet it out for sure. All those links are down there, guys. Make sure to check those out. We're on all platforms: Spotify, Apple, YouTube, whatever you made it to. You can listen to the podcast there, and then you can also check out more Branders shit up here. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end. We'll see you guys later.
Cheers. Thank you.